So my name is Mike Patterson. My wife Emily and I started a Small Change Brewing Company about 4.5 years ago in Somerville, Massachusetts, in the U.S.
Hi, welcome to another Beerfest Brewer Profile. This week we're talking to Mike Patterson from Small Change Brewing in Boston. They're a small ghost or nomad brewer in the city. Relatively new, but relative in terms of they were set up a few years ago, but then obviously COVID ran in and like everybody else can put a halt. So there's almost kind of 2 years out of where they would be. But they have big ambitions. They're slowly growing. That they have big ambitions. As I said, it's himself and his wife. So at this stage, anyway, don't let me explain everything right now. You can hear it all from Mike himself. So let's go over to him and let's talk beer.
So we started in 2018. I had been a home brewer for many, many years. Worked at a few breweries in our area, and we really just kind of wanted to start our own beer project. We had a number of recipes from home brewing that we wanted to do, and really just wanted to try to put our own beer out into the world.
What kind of physical setup do you have?
We are a contract brewery, so we don't actually have our own production facility. We take our recipes and brew them at existing production facilities, and get our beer out there that way.
And was that driven by costs, or was it like more of a strategic decision to allow you to focus on just the beers themselves and the distribution and the business side of it?
With really no experience running a business, and it was just it was a better path to hopefully being successful than to dump a bunch of other people's money into a large facility and hope that it works. So that's what we've been doing for the past few years, and the plan is to open a space. Obviously, the COVID shutdown of the last few years has put a pause on things, but we are hoping to have our own space open within the next couple of years.
Where did the name come from?
So my wife and I are both big music fans, and we were having a hard time trying to come up with a name for the brewery or for the beer company. And the singer Tom Waits has an album called Small Change, and we after trying for months to come up with a name that hadn't already been taken, we were listening to, or I was listening to Small Change, the Tom Waits album, at work one night, and I texted my wife and I said, "How about Small Change?" And it was the first name that neither of us had said no to, and we Googled it and nobody had taken it, so we went with that.
I'd imagine that around the Boston area, the whole thing would be primarily hazy IPAs. Would I be right? If that's the case, is that what you brew? Are you trying to do something different, or are you brewing what the market wants, or maybe hazy IPAs are all you drink as well? I don't know.
So we tend to focus on beer styles that we like to drink, kind of without the overhead of a tap room and without the overhead of a big facility and a huge staff. We're able to sort of focus more on the beer that we want to release, the beer that we want to brew, rather than the beer that pays the bills. So our core lineup of year-round beers is kind of a lightly hopped pale ale, more of a traditional American-style IPA, kind of clear, a little bit bitter, a little bit malty, robust porter, an English dark mild, and we do a New England IPA that is out most of the year, 9 months out of the year. So it's definitely more. We're fortunate enough to be able to do more personal personal choice styles rather than having to do beers that are more driven by the market or customer demand, which is nice because we're really proud of each of the beers that we do. And they're not just we're not just slapping a new label on a new hop combination hazy IPA every week and releasing it. So we are able to do a lot of the styles that we really want to brew, which is nice. It's refreshing, and I feel like a lot of people that purchase our beer appreciate that. That they can get an English dark mild, 3.1% English dark mild in cans at their local store, in the midst of all the New England IPAs that are coming out every week. So we're always we do a, a small number of different beers, but we're always trying to do something. When we do a new beer, we're always thinking about a style that you know that we really enjoy to drink. We really enjoy drinking, and that maybe is a little bit underrepresented in our local market.
From the sound of things, you're not really, at least primarily driven just purely by trying to make a fortune out of brewing. So, what's kind of the philosophy behind the brewery, behind your beers, behind the two of you getting together and doing this work?
There's a lot of beer trends and hype, and it's really about the coolest, newest thing. And I definitely appreciate those breweries from 15 or 20 years ago, where it was more about a unique drinking experience, something fun, something unique, something different. We got a lot of our inspiration from a company called Pretty Things Pretty Things Beer and Ale Project, which was located in Somerville, Massachusetts, our hometown, a number of years ago. They've since closed and reopened or opened a new brewery in England, called St. Mars of the Desert, Sheffield, I believe. So if anyone is near Sheffield or wants to take a road trip, I imagine it is well worth checking out. But they didn't have their own when they were located here in Somerville. They didn't have their own production facility, and they brewed a lot of styles of beer that you really couldn't find anywhere else, or just styles that were very unique and interesting and fun to drink.
And do you think by going down the same route as they did, that brewing these, let's say, more niche beers, that was a benefit because people actually came and sought you out, or do you think it was made it a harder challenge because obviously you have to then, like, did you have to educate people, and how did you have to go about that then?
I think our biggest challenge was that we started without a tap room or a place that people could come and try the beer and talk to us about the beer. So we didn't have that immediate feedback from customers, and we didn't have that sort of immediate customer reaction to what they liked about the beer, what they didn't like about the beer, or how it was selling. And we also, as a small company that's just starting out, that a lot of people don't know about, the first question you always get asked is, where are you located? And so without that sort of home base taproom location, it was definitely hard to explain to people what we were doing and kind of build that brand loyalty, or that company loyalty, customer loyalty. Not hard, but definitely a challenge, or a unique challenge, that we didn't really anticipate as we were starting. Also, I mean, starting, we started, as we started, it seemed like in our area, there was a new brewery opening almost every week. So almost all of whom are just making really, really good beer. So to try and have our own place in the market, just, have our own voice, try to get shelf space, try to get draft lines at bars, and try to stand out a little bit. It's definitely a huge challenge, which is, as a beer drinker, not bad, not a bad thing, but as someone trying to run a beer company is a little difficult.
What do you think the future holds for the brewery?
So we've always tried to expand very slowly, and not overextend ourselves financially, or in any other way. So our our original plan was to open our own production facility and tap room within 2 or 3 years of starting. Obviously, the COVID shutdown put a delay on that, but that is still our plan. So hopefully, expand distribution, ideally to exporting, but also, throughout the northeastern United States, and then open a small tap room and brewing facility somewhere in Massachusetts.
All right, so we talked about the challenges, but I mean, as you just said there, like you still have plans. You're planning to grow this. You're not quitting the business anytime soon. So, what is it that, like, if there was one thing you say that kept you going, that makes you glad you set up this brewery in the first place, then what would it be?
As we start, I mean, I feel like we've met some amazing people that we wouldn't have met otherwise had we not started this. Just people that have become friends, people that have enjoyed our beer and had their friends buy it or recommended it to somebody who happened to work for a newspaper and write an article about it, or it's just it's really amazing and humbling to sort of I try to take a step back every day and appreciate all the good fortune and good luck that we've had.
Hi, it's been great hearing the story, and thanks a million for taking the time. So now, if anybody out there wants to go and find Small Change Brewing, go and get in touch with you or see what you're doing, track when beers are available and all that stuff, where can they find you?
Our website is smallchangebrewing.com. We also do Instagram and Facebook. We're terrible at social media, but those are the two that we try to keep up with. There are links on the website to both. I believe it's Small Change Beer on Instagram and Small Change Brewing on Facebook. And then there's a contact link on our website if anyone wants to get in touch with us. Any questions about beers or anything like that, the contact us link on the website goes right to our email, and we're usually pretty good about getting back to people pretty quickly.
All those contact details are, of course, available in the show notes. If you're a brewery and you'd like to feature, then please just go to beerfest.com and follow the links there. We'd love to hear from you. Also, of course, this is on a podcast across your favorite podcast channel. We're also on YouTube. So I'd appreciate any kind of, basically any subscriptions, any likes, reviews, anything that would help just kind of get the word out. And hopefully we're going to bring you a lot more brewery profiles and a lot of brewer chats. Talk to you soon.